Hey guys, and welcome to the third episode of the MTA Scripting School. In today's episode, we are going to take a little bit deeper look at variables, and we're going to take our first look at functions. So, in the last episode, we made this little script here. We declared some variables, and we used them in our output chat box. As you can see, everything here works. But what if we would make another server file and save the variables in there? Would that work too? Let's give it a try. So now just create a new file s_variables.lua. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just call it as variables. Okay, now open it, and after you've opened it, just copy your variables, remove them from the sMessage script, and put them in the sVariable script. Now we go to the meta, and before the script source sMessage, we write script source equals s_variables.lua type equals server. Okay, save it. And now you go into your server, log in, and restart your resource. And as you can see, it works. That's because variables like these are global variables. Global variables are like you can access them everywhere in your resource. When they are a server script, you can only access them over another server script. When they are a client script, you can only access them over a client script. You cannot access a server variable by a client script. Okay, so you now see this works perfectly. We have one file for doing the stuff and one file for saving variables in. But what happens if we put a little word here before our sMessage, and the word is local? Okay, so the word is local, as you can see. Now restart the resource. Oh, restart, nothing happens. Let's debug this. How to debug something? You open your console or open your chat and write debug script 3. And now restart once again. And you see at the bottom of your screen you have an error. Bad argument at output chat box, expected string at argument 1 got nil. So what does this mean? Let's go to our sMessage. We have errors in line 1 is this one, and at argument 1. I think this is argument 1 or guys? Yeah, it is. And as it says that it wants a string argument, but it got nil. But we declared the sMessage script variable here. But why doesn't it work? That's because we use the local keyword. The variables down here are not anymore these are global. Still, this script can still use them, but this is a local variable, so only this script can use them, and this can't. And why does it say it got nil? What is nil? Nil is nothing. Just nothing. I hope you get what I mean. Let's say sMessage equals nil. You can see you can use nil. Most people use nil to just let's say remove something from something, or I don't really know. I don't really use it that often. But you could use it just to, let's say, when you set a value to 10 and you later want it to be nothing again, then just use sMessage equals via variable name equals nil. Okay, so how do we fix this? We do this by writing sMessage equals and then our string. This is the first way how we could do it. What we also could do is this. Both ways will work. And you can local variables are, as I said, just in one file. So if you now use sLocal here, let's use output debug string, and then sMessage. And now restart the script. You can see on the bottom in our debug script that it outputs LUA factors with the color codes. That's what output debug string is for. As you can see, this outputted in chat box because we declared the variable here, and this outputs the variable we defined here. So if we would remove this now and restart, it would not see the output, the sMessage. But why is that? It's defined as global here. That's because, as you can see in our meta, it first starts the svariable script and does everything inside of that, then does the sMessage script. So yeah, that's just an important fact. Okay, let's just give these variables back to this, and now we could we can just remove this. I hope you understood what sounds good. So yeah, what local and global variables are now. If you did not understand it, then yeah, please tell me in the comments, and I can give you a little bit better explanation. Okay, now let's remove this. Okay, I hope you now, as I said, I hope you understood it now. If not, just write a comment. Now we're going to take our first look at functions. What are functions for? As I've told you in the first episode, output chatbox is a function, and it's a function which wants some arguments. So how do we write a function? And how do we use it? To write a function, you just write function, then space, then the function name. We will take show message, and then you open a bracket, and now you write all the arguments you want. Let's say we want a message string, or just the message, and then make a comma. Then the next argument is color coded. Then close the brackets, double enter, and end. Okay, so we wrote our function now, and the function wants 2 arguments. Let me show you something later. Now what we could do is output chatbox bracket message, because we got the message argument here, then comma eRoot, I red, I blue, I green, and then color coded. Okay, and how do we use it now? That's easy as fuck. You just write show message, then the message sMessage, and the color. Now you can remove this. Okay, so let's give it a shot. And no, it doesn't start. Oh, I think I did not. Or did I? Yeah, I have to remove this line on the meta because it doesn't exist. The script, the server doesn't understand that it isn't existing. You know. Okay, refresh, start the resource, and as you can see, our message gets output in the chat box. Pretty nice. So that's how we can write arguments, functions. But how exactly did it work now? We declared a function with the message show message, and this function wants two arguments: the message and color coded. This can be this should be true or false, else it will just throw an error. Okay, and inside of the function, when the function is called, we do output chat box, the message the user typed in, then we use our arguments we defined up here, and then color coded, the second argument. So yeah, it's basically the same as we had up here, just we can change the message and the color code now. If it, like we could now write here false, then we can restart it and you see it's not color coded anymore. Functions are used very often, because functions, you can do anything with a function. Mostly functions are used to communicate between server and client. We will take that in another episode. And you can just use functions to easily change stuff, easily work with stuff. It's just very important to use them, in my opinion. You could, as example, we could first show the message with the S message. Then we could do this, and then we can write the message again, but this time not color coded. And this we don't also need to make this color coded because it's just this text. So if we restart it now, you can see hello factors, then many scores thingies, and then the message again, just not color coded. So instead of writing all the time output chat box we just do show message, then give the script the message, and if it's color coded. At this point it's not really useful for this function stuff, but it's like when you do a much more advanced script, a much more complex and a much more bigger script, then you will see, hey, I'm doing this, just the only thing I changed is one variable, and that's what functions are for. When you write the exact same code 2 times in a script, it will just take a bit of processor stuff, and that's just not good. No. So what you do is write a function which executes the code. I hope you get what I mean. Okay, also you can also declare functions as local functions. This is also possible. It works just the same way as with variables. Okay, and what I wanted to show you is, I think this works in Lua, I'm not sure at the moment. Let me just quickly test this. Okay, so now if I forgot to make. Okay, no, it's not working like I wanted to work in C#. You can just write color coded equals false, and then the argument mostly is false. So you can just do, now we're going to use the nil argument. If color coded equals, this is also something very important, nil, then color coded equals false, and just make it look beautiful. Okay, so what is this? If, just normal English, if color coded is the same as nil, so it doesn't exist, then do this. So if this just takes if the color coded argument is the same as nil as it is when we didn't declare pass it over here, then do this stuff, and the end just to tell the script that the if argument ended. Okay, let's give this a shot. And you see, it works. And if we now change this to true, you can see it's now color coded. So yeah, on the next episode we're going to take a deeper look at the if arguments. I just wanted to show you this for a short time, because probably when you're doing some little scripts right now, when you just started, you will probably need this sometime. So you can just use this if color coded and then these equal thingies, and then you could also do if it's false then it's true. So if you write comma false here and then reset it, it's still color coded. And yeah, as I said, we're going to take a better look at the if arguments in the next episode, which will be tomorrow. But for now, you now know what global and local variables are. If not, just watch the episode again or ask me about it. I will then just give you another little tutorial in text. You now know what functions are and how you can declare them and how you can pass arguments over. So these two things are arguments, don't forget that. Just like an output chat box, argument, 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 and argument. And you now even know a little bit about the if statements. Okay, I hope you understood everything in this episode. If not, leave me a comment there or just write a personal message on YouTube or on the FFS forum to me.